Well, Jim, penalty shootout's always going to be a lottery. But how did you feel the game went before that?
Credit to Chesterfield. Every time I've seen them, they've sort of like looked like they've a couple of weaknesses that I've seen in the game. They seem to have improved, and they look like they've added something. And I thought the game plan was really good. Obviously forceful front three to stop us playing out from the back. We didn't. Our longer game wasn't great. Our pickups weren't great with the extra man in midfield, and I thought that there were quite a few underwhelming performances from us, and I was having to do a little bit too much leadership throughout the game and at half time to try and correct some of that. We had enough chances in the second half, but we're lamenting similar poor play and poor final balls and shots on target like we did at Torquay, and could have easily been a draw at Chesterfield last week if we didn't maximise our opportunities. So it's really disappointing because it's not like we've played really well and been beaten. I think that we've kind of, we've been a little bit underwhelming today, and they've worked really hard, always stayed in the game. Like I said in the programme notes, they'll always stay in the ground, they'll always be mentally strong, they'll always see it out with effort and endeavour. They got their break, took the goal, and then it was done up a question of the psychology of the final 5 minutes and the penalties, and like I said, they took their chance, we didn't.
It's interesting you've used exactly the same word that I used at half-time, underwhelming, but you came out and it was a sustained spell of pressure early in the second half that led to the goal. Just a shame you couldn't hold on to that.
I think it seemed like it was an effort for us.
Yeah.
Like maybe the half-time team talk and me constantly on the sideline. It was like there was, I've been asking for a lot of on-field leadership, and that's tactical, because it looked like our lads weren't really coping with the changes they were making. They weren't figuring out the problems, and even the drive that was needed, to get through the lines and break the lines. And I'm having to do too much of that, and I think that they put an effort in, got the goal, and then maybe they couldn't sustain it. And that's always dangerous if you don't keep the tempo on what's working for you and keep doing what works for you. If you change it, you often then allow the opposition to up their tempo. But pleased we were better second half, but like I said, they're just a little bit disappointed. I've had a few problems this week with a few players out, and so we asked a few challenges tactically for us, but similar issues that we've had in other games where we let third man runners in behind wing backs, we let crosses come in and people are marked. So we're a work in progress, and there's lots of bits that we need to improve, and today that we're back to the drawing board because there was lots that we need to correct from today's performance. We're facing a really tough opponent on Tuesday, and like I said, I remember we had a really disappointing defeat to FC United, and I said, look, they can celebrate. Ultimately, both clubs will get judged on where they are in the league, and what we need to do now is it's a cup final for us on Tuesday, because every game now to the end of the season we've got to treat like somebody wants to knock us off top spot, and we want to win and stay top spot. So it's a huge challenge for our lads. So I sort of said to them, get yourself dusted down, get yourself mentally right, come in on Monday and work really hard, because Tuesday we've got to bounce back and show the qualities we have and put ourselves in a position where we can keep ourselves at the top of the league.
Looking ahead to Tuesday, you were slightly hamstrung today. I felt like, obviously down the left-hand side, you've lost Kitchen, you've lost Jennings as well, so no natural left footer down there. Do you think that will be an area that will improve with fitness on Tuesday?
Well, look, it's not a question of not giving anything away. I think Jordan Williams started the week training, James Jennings came into training, they've had to pull out, and then we had a strange one in the middle of our prep yesterday, and then it's kind of, I can't use that as an excuse. Adam Thomas did reasonably well on the left. He stuck to his task. Real ding-dong between him and Cropper. He got him up the pitch, got crosses in. Like I said, so I think Kitchen's the most likely one to be fit. Strange sort of neck injury. Often with backs and necks, you feel like you're immobile, and then they ease off quite quickly. So more of a nerve muscle thing, but there's no tear there. Whereas the other lads, I think that they're possibly going to be. We won't see them until after the break now.
Connor Jennings, you rested him. He obviously came on and contributed towards the end. Is he okay?
He's not trained all week. Like a lot of people, my wife's in a similar situation at work. A lot of people have been in their circle, have been sort of told that they've been in contact with somebody. So we had to be cautious until I think his partner and child had been in contact with someone, so we had to wait for the test to come through. So he's unfortunately missed out on training. I was hoping for his sake that we'd come on and be that impact sub and get that goal and be the star, but it was a tough one for him to come into a game after not being able to train this week. But yeah, and like I said, Alex has done brilliant as an impact sub, and what we need now to see is that mentality from the start and be a threat. And we needed to. I thought he might have caused them more problems in the first half if we had got better balls up to Richie and Richie had been able to connect better with him, because there was times when he looked like a real threat and he really stretched him. But it's good to have those options. So Connor will have a normal training on Monday. Hopefully Kitchen will come around, and then obviously we've got a couple of other options depending on what we see. We took Jamie Stott off as a precaution. Adam Thomas got a bang, I think. So, but I'd be confident that those guys would be okay. But Solihull is going to be a tough game. They've had some solid results, kept a lot of clean sheets. They play a very unusual shape. They're not the same Solihull that was kind of maybe long ball and direct and set play orientated. I think they've got that, but they've also got a way of playing through the extra men in midfield. So it'd be a really challenging game for us in many levels in terms of tactically and physically and mentally after today's game to come back and be solid, clean sheets, be a threat from open play and be a threat from solid plays, and we need all of them, not just one or two of them.
You mentioned Solihull. Do you expect, the bookies seem to fancy they'll be there or thereabouts at the end of the season? Do you agree with that assessment? Do you think they are one of the top sides in our division?
Well, yeah, of course. They had an okay season last year. They'd be disappointed they weren't in and around the playoffs, but normally when you're under huge pressure, after perhaps finishing second and losing the playoffs, you're under huge pressure. Then if a manager doesn't quite deliver top 2 or 3, you start changing the manager, and then that has a negative impact. I think they got going last year, but I think they've had a good pre-season. They're a well-funded club. I'd expect them, the same way I'd expect the well-funded clubs like Notts County and Yeovil all to be there. And you only have to go off the track record in the last 2 years to say they're serious contenders. So it'd be an interesting game, a real challenge for us. A real test of our credentials. We've done reasonably well in all the other games and been a touch better than the teams that we've beaten. I don't know whether they're a benchmark of playoff promotion teams or relegation teams. I don't know at this stage, but Solihull certainly will be one of the biggest challenges in terms of one of those that's going to be competing for the top spots.
Jim, commiserations today. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.